Well, ahoy there, folks. Welcome to another Train Sim Classic video. Today we got something to look at in the form of the fifth Alco. Or actually, a lie. It's not Alco. It's their counterpart, the MLW Century 424 in Canadian National colors. You're going to get two of them. This is it right here, the newest one, of course, from Diesel Workshop. It's going to cost you about 14 bucks after taxes and all that good stuff. And you're going to get two variants. It's, typical Diesel Workshop goodness. They're still cooking. And they have also mentioned that they're diligently working on that GP9. So I am hella geeked about that. But let's hop in and take a look at this thing. All right, well, here they are, the Canadian National C424s. And you may be thinking, man, this is just another 424 video, right? And while, yes, technically, it most definitely is. And Diesel Workshop might be milking these. I don't know how many they have got left. I'm going to assume Canadian Pacific. I think CP had a few of these as well. So I'm going to assume that's probably who they'll kind of wrap this pack up with, because when Diesel Workshop released, a public announcement basically letting people know this thing was released, they accidentally called it initially the Canadian Pacific pack, and everybody was like, wait a minute, that's not CP, that's CN. And so they made it right and fixed it and said, yes, it's the CN. You got us. It was a typo. Maybe they're thinking already of the CP pack, which I'm assuming is going to be coming. I hope we get some Pac-Man action on there. But anyway, this is what you're going to get. Two variants, obviously the Zebra and the CN back there. So with this being the fifth video or fifth time I've covered these things in general, I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole of, Wikipedia-ing these things. But again, it's the Montreal Locomotive Works Century Series 424. The fifth pack by Diesel Workshop. Back again with these suckers. Alco and MLW built Century 424s, had 2,400 horsepower naturally, hence the 2.4 in the back of the 424, and the 4 meaning 4 axles. So 4 axles, 2,400 horsepower, 424. Diesel electric locomotive, of course, built in the mid-60s. I want to say like 63 to 67, somewhere thereabouts. And Canadian National owned 41 of these units, numbered 3,200 through 3,240, if my very crappy math skills are correct. Now, what's interesting about these, same with Canadian Pacific when they ordered theirs as well, the first couple that they received actually had the up-top headlights, whereas these have the nose, as they were promptly fixed. Whereas, like some of these older packs, you'll see most of the, the American variants had the upper headlights. And what's kind of funky about these right off the bat is you notice that 5 head on these suckers big time. It's just, it looks really, really funky without the headlights up there, especially from up high like this. I mean, just look how sharp that is. And if you go over here, it kind of flattens out in the middle where they had the headlights on these variants for these railroads. So that is a big change right off the bat. Another one is the marker lights. So, while this is the fifth pack of these things, there are differences all throughout. So they're not simply just repaints, as much as it would be very easy to say that they are. They very much are not just repaints, nor have they been since they've been releasing all these different packs. But anyway, that aside, the marker lights are different. There's only 2 on here. That one's got 3, the Wabash has got 3, the EL's got 3. I just laid a couple down here. I don't have the PC here or the Green Bay. I think I'm missing something else. Oh yeah, the Spokane locomotive as well. So there's a lot of these, a lot of options now. But anyway, so it's only got 2 markers. One of the other things you'll notice about this model as well in particular is the plow or the pilot is kind of curved. Whereas the other ones from the other packs are pointed. They have just a severe kind of angle to them. I think all of them did. That one does as well, and then the EL did as well. So both of these are going to just be kind of a rounded pilot. So it's just smoothed over instead of being pointy. Let's see what else. One of the other big things is the steps. So the crew steps on the fireman's side and the engineer side are different. So with some of the other roads, like the engines behind us, there would be like a maintenance box here, you know, some kind of crap to just to pull out of the little cupboard or whatever the heck you want to call it. Whereas on these, there's these kind of funky steps that, you know, aren't just perfect right angles. They're a bit more acute and not obtuse. Yes, geometry. So we'll go and take a look at the BN, for example. See, this is like the big box I was talking about. I don't know if like a battery would be in here or what. Typically I thought it was back here, but it's just a lot different. So here it's just more squared. So the nose does look a bit different on these because of those steps. So you should notice that kind of right off the get-go. It's on this side as well, although you can't really see it that well because of the darkness, the black. But they are back there as well. Another thing, of course, is the designation too. So it being Canadian National, it's MR24B, whereas that one doesn't say it at all. I thought one of these, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. So yeah, they don't have the actual locomotive unit on there. Another thing is the rear end. So these don't have the kind of the pointy, almost like hammerhead looking stuff on the back. The spiky horn bits on the back. We'll look at, yeah, the Erie Lackawanna has got them. So these here, it's just like an entire cabinet for the lights, basically. Whereas these are all kind of rounded out or notched. This being the notch right there. But not only that, but the marker light. So it's just got a single marker light on the back. I don't think any of these had a single marker light. I am a total liar. The BN does. And the Wabash does. So some of these did. The EL had the 3. I get confused now because there's so dang many of these. It's hard to keep up with them all. I'm sure there's a bunch of other, you know, little bits and bobs that I've totally missed. But one of the things I've noticed as well with this pack is the axles. So some things in Train Sim, the axles look a bit funk, bit too shiny, bit too silvery, just too bright, and it just kind of makes them stand out. And they have changed that. So you can see with the 2 Canadian National variants over here, they are much, much darker. They look more akin to something a bit more realistic. Plus, it's up under the frame of the locomotive, so you're not really going to see them kind of popping out at you unless light was directly hitting them per se. So that's the new style. The old style here is just much, much, much brighter. Not saying that these were bad, not in any form or fashion. They are definitely some of the better looking axles for any of the North American content that we get. You know, looking at you, DTM and Travel by Train, who's just, it's shiny, polished metal, whereas these look obviously a bit more realistic, as they should. What else am I missing? We got the steps, we got the pilot, oh, and the fuel tank. So that's one of the other big things as well. It's got the split kind of barrel fuel tank. Now a lot of these had variations as well. This one's got the kind of giant barrel. This one's just got the square one. I think this one's got the barrel as well. So yeah, that's interesting. It's got this kind of split down the middle. I'm not sure what that was all about, but I think those were only on Canadian National, possibly Canadian Pacific as well. But again, there may be a few other bits and bobs that I may have totally missed, but that's what's interesting about these, like I mentioned a moment ago, is they are different. They're not just repaints for the most part. You've also got the aerial, or I like to call them the ice skate, up here on the top, right over the engineer spot. This one had a different kind of antenna there. This one didn't have one at all. And then that one's got the kind of up high ice skate. So that's all different as well. Not to mention the horn. And I had a tough time with these horns. I am not totally sure what horn this is. Now, the shape, honestly, it's Leslie. I don't know. I mean, the end caps don't look Nathan to me, and I'm you know, sure they've changed over the years in different variations, different casts and things like that. But the short style, I don't know. They're just kind of more thick, whereas the you know, the Nathans, or the Leslies can be, you know, thinner and trumpetier. But I do know that Canada kind of had their own horns made as well. I know they had some sandcast horns. There's a company called Holden that made some Canadian specific horns as well. I'm gonna go with a K3. I mean, looking at it, I can't judge by that, and I don't know my horns that well anyway. But it sounds kind of like an old school kind of K3 to me. Again, alas, if you do know, please let me know in the comments below, because that's the best I can go with. And plus, you know, Canadian National, they were typically K3 peeps too, right? So yeah, I don't know, that and the bell. So the bell is located back here on the body, just, you know, behind the engineer, as well as the Huron. And then this one, the Huron, is on the brow on the top. One of these, actually a couple of these, I think have the bell underneath, hung up under the chassis. So there's just a lot of variations. So that being said, it's got this right here, FL instead of just F, no footboard on there. You've got the Montreal Locomotive Works plaque on there as well, which is really cool. Over here it would be ML Dub as well. One of these got to say Alco somewhere. A Donde Esta El Alco. There we go. Got an Alco plaque on there. And I don't think they put this on there anymore either. Which I didn't notice, because like it would be right there on the BN. Yeah, they kind of snuck that one up under there. That's a lot nicer. I know they want to kind of keep their tag on there, and that's totally understandable. I wonder if there's one like hidden on here somewhere. It's like a little train sim Easter egg. Yeah, I don't see it. But overall, the weathering does look nice. You know, they pop, but not too much. The coloring looks pretty spot on. The zebra is, I've always had a thing for the zebra, obviously, for Canadian National. Kind of like the Pac-Man with the old CP stuff. But they look good, you know, they're weathered. You've got kind of more weathering down low than you do up top, where things tend to accumulate on the bottom. You know, the handrails and everything seem to be painted correctly. It's just a good looking engine as per usual. I mean, it's Diesel Workshop. They're still cooking. I'd imagine they got one more of these to go. But I got a train sat right over there, and we'll go hop in that thing and run it and just see if anything's kind of changed, not only interior wise, which is between the feel and the sound. And we'll check that horn out as well. Alright then, here we are, guys. Let's get in this thing and just pull it down the track some and just see if it feels, sounds, smells, tastes any different. Go ahead and hop in this bad boy. It's still extremely loud in the cab. Now I know these older, you know, diesel electrics, they weren't, I guess you could say, padded or sealed as well, and probably were a lot more loud than the newer stuff, but I just feel like the interior sound has always been a bit too damn loud in these things. Whereas if you go to the exterior, where it should be loud, it's just a lot more quiet. So yeah, I mean, it's a good sound, don't get me wrong, it sounds nice, but the interior's always just been a bit too loud to me. Should still be able to open all the doors and the windows. And it's weathered and textured in here, very nice again. It's not over the top, melting your computer. But it is crispy as well. It is some crispy bacon, but it ain't burnt. Get your windows that open. Pop that little thing out there. This one should open as well. There we go. About the visor. Visor move? Thought it did. No, maybe not. Let's try this one. Grab it, grab it, grab it. Yeah, you can still hear the radio chatter as well, which is a cool little touch. But you can't really hear it because it's just ultra damn loud in this thing. So we'll go back outside, we'll take a look at the headlights. The headlight, or the lighting in general, still look very nice. They just have a natural look to them, which is often lost on us North American train sim enjoyers 90% of the time. These look good. I do know that the recent update for Train Sim Classic kind of borked some of the flaring, and I'll show what I'm talking about here in a minute. But that is the low. That is the high, and we'll kind of back up here and show you what I'm talking about. So it should just kind of disappear. There it goes. So it doesn't actually like fade in anymore. It just kind of pops off and on. That's not a Diesel Workshop thing. That's just an overall Train Sim Classic thing now, thanks to updates. There's no telling what else it broke. Surprisingly, you know, my game is still running okay for the most part. I haven't noticed too much stuff, but I haven't been playing Train Sim Classic all that much lately any darn way. So that's the lights. They still look pretty dang spicy. Get those number boards on there. Those look natural. Again, you can actually see each individual bulb back there. The marker lights are the C key, and then U, I think. Yeah, so you hit the C key to turn them on, and then U to change them. So we'll leave them on like that. Let's go ahead and test that bell out. Sounds pretty nice. You can't really see the damn thing now, but it seems like it's a bit on the quiet side, but it sounds nice. Do an interior. You can actually see it animated, which is neat. And then the horn. So let's check the horn out. See if you guys can figure out what this horn is. I think it's a K3. I mean, it's Canadian National. It's a 3-chime. It just sounds like an old K3 to me. I don't know. We'll get back some, see if there's any Doppleration. Got a bit of muffle. A couple thousand feet away. Yeah, but it does sound good. That's a nice sound sample. I don't hear any kind of pops or clicks or anything like that. It's a good sounding horn. I don't hear any, you know, notable looping. You can kind of tap dance on the space key, space bar. Sounds weird saying space key, space bar. Yeah, so no weird things there. We'll do it inside. That sounds good as well. Again, it's just, you know, the damn engine sound is kind of overpowering it. That's definitely got that, like, reverb sound to it, which is always nice interior-wise. Alright, let's get down the road. So we got a couple loads here of some processed lumber. Give it one notcheroni. Oh wow, that's not good. Never noticed that before. The amp gauge, or whatever they were called back then, just goes meow, meow, meow. I don't know if it's just this model or they've all done that. Give her another notch. So in between notches, it kind of, you know, it kind of slowly revs up there. But that 0 to 1 is like boink. That's the selector. What do we got here? The bell. Got the pneumatic sound, which is nice. Sander valve, you can hear that as well. Let's see. Got our gauge lights. Those look very nice. They do have some nice gauges. I love that you can actually see the Alco on there. I'm going to assume that they would have said Alco, being that MLW is kind of like a sister company to Alco. What else we got down here? Fuel pump control, gin field. Still can't do anything with. A bit sad. Cab heater. Give her another notch. You can kind of see the number board light bleeding in here. That's a little funky. Up on the roof there. The actual chain pull is cool. Still got that old kind of plywood floor. Sadly, I don't think anything has changed interior-wise. I feel like all of the C424 packs look the same via interior. There might be a few things, maybe some stickers, stuff like that, but it largely looks the same in here. Not, you know, I don't know if they would have changed all that much between roads, but I'm gonna go with probably not. See what we got back here. Number boards, rear numbers. Let's take a look at those. Come on as well. They look good. See what we got here. Front, we got that on. Rear class. There they are. They are in the white. Platform lights. Probably won't be able to see that. Yeah, there you go. See it on the front better there. At the bottom. Again, a good looking collar. Let's see. Can't mess with that. Nothing else really. The interior light. Wipers. Beacon? The hell? So it doesn't have a beacon, but it's got a beacon switch. That's like a BN and SPS thing. Okay. I guess that's left over from one of the previous builds of this thing, because it's not denoted, you know, underneath on the tag. Fuel pump, crankcase, exhauster, battery breaker. Yeah, all that is pretty standard. It still feels pretty good. This isn't the heaviest train in the world, but they only had 2,400 horsepower. You know, they weren't super duper spicy, mainly meant for smaller trains unless it was in a massive lash up. But it does still feel pretty good. It still sounds pretty good. It's definitely one of the best Alco sound packs for any kind of North American train sim item, might I add. But still got some nice looking exhaust as well. That's kind of hard to come by, aside from a couple of, you know, third-party devs and some modders, of course. But notch 6. Notch 7. That's actually 6. I'm an idiot. I had it 4. That is 7. And that's the crazy... These things just chug, man. Straight chugging. I feel like these sound way better than the Canadian National M420, sadly, because that is a cool-ass engine. But I feel like the sounds in this are just much, much smoother, much better, just edited better, just overall better. Very creamy. Very creamy, buttery sound. Da -da 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 -da. You can kind of hear the traction motors outside a little bit, warming up, winding up. So yeah, there she blows. I don't know what too much else to talk about regarding the matter or the subject. Again, 5th C424 pack. It is Canadian National. You know, it's pretty cool to have some nice CN stuff. I feel like that's something that we've kind of been lacking in North American train sim stuff for a while. We don't have too many places to run Canadian National in these engines prime. Anyway, could you say? But yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys. Diesel Workshop, Canadian National C424. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, let me know down below. I don't know what the horn is. Again, I think it's a K3 of some sort. But that is it, guys. See you on the next one. Take care out there. Bye-bye.